Hello everybody, it's Techstack. Get started here. Get some different music on. Different song than we normally don't play. Ah, that's a song we normally play. No, come on, give me something. Sure, we'll go with this one, whatever. Okay, so let's make sure we got a good sound check. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Sure, we'll go with this one, whatever. Okay, that's good. Alright, so I've got a couple windows going on here. I am on the test server. I'm also streaming development, right? So we're kind of going to do both. On the test server, though, which I've up here, we're just going to sit AFK at this skeleton farm for right now and collect arrows. That's really what we're here for. I believe when these guys start falling down enough, entity cramming will kick in and start killing them. So we shouldn't have to do much. But if I want XP, I need to punch them. So that's a thing. But we're also going to work on the mod down here, right? So the idea is the laser level. It doesn't say laser level yet. This screen. So we got this set up so that it's got the GUI and everything. What we don't have is it working at all, right? So we need a button on this screen. We need some more details about what we're scanning in. I think that'd be useful. And we'll go from there. So let me first put a message in here. Streaming over on YouTube now. Why does it not like the YouTube? Oh, case sensitive. And I think this page that we're at is Techstack. Live? Nope, let me get the page URL. There it is. Okay, now we're good to go. So we need to add a button to this, right? I think that should be priority number one. We need to figure out what are the pieces of information we're going to save with this, right? Just display on the screen where it's at, those type of things. It might be useful to show the blocks. However, that's going to require a scroll bar, definitely. And that gets a little bit more complicated because there's a high probability that, how do I say this? If we have too many blocks types, that we will have a list that needs scrolled, basically. And I just realized this is not a centered window at all, is it? I'm okay with that, but why? It's the size of the texture, isn't it? Huh. Well, this is fine. We'll leave it like this. So back in my GUI for this thing. Oh my gosh, GUI laser level, there it is. So we're drawing out the pieces there. Setting up this. I think we need to add a new GUI button. Right there it is. So this dot button list is that. We're calculating an X and a Y, so we'll have to redo this. Dedicated wrapper. What the heck is that? Oh, it's one of my utilities. Okay. Oh, it wasn't dedicated. That was deprecated. Derp. Okay. So we'll want to change this. We also probably should change one of these labels that I got on here, wherever that is, to use the same deprecated wrapper. Translate to local. And we'll say something different. But we need to set our settings first in the localization. Where is my localization file? Down here. And we're going to add what is it, GUI something? Okay, so we're going to have that as what our text will be. We'll say GUI dot laser level. Let's get this up over here. Did I start stream avatars? I don't think I did I? Connect that. There we go. Laser level dot save text equals that, and then we'll use laser GUI laser level save text in here. Okay, save both of those. In this one, why we got an error? We got it up here on this. Oh, for the button stuff. Okay, so this is going to be our button text. So we'll add another string here, and we'll just call it save, and its wording will be save button. All right, that way if someone in Russia wants to translate this, they can to whatever the Russian word for save is. Okay, so we'll just put in a hard-coded value, let's say 50, 50, see if that button shows up then at that location. Oops, wrong. Oh, I got the wrong window over there. Put this one over here. And my game here we'll put up over there. We can do this. We'll put it on one side and Discord on the other. There. Trying to manage everything. Okay, so we've got our button there. The deprecated thing is not working because we probably need to do F3T. And what F3T does is it reloads the resource pack. So those changes that I made to the what's the word? To the language file gets pulled in basically. There we go. Now it says save. So let's try and center this up with the bottom right corner. I think would probably be a good spot for it. So we need to say GUI this dot GUI right. Is there a right? No, there's a width though. So width, but the width is too much. That's the problem. That's why it's not centered on the screen right. So this dot width minus, I don't know, 50. And then our height is gonna, or our TH. Our Y coordinate's gonna be this dot GUI height minus 50 again. We're gonna say it's gonna be 30 wide and 20 tall. I think the 20 tall is gonna be correct no matter what we do. Okay, so that's actually a good size for it. The position's off. The vertical isn't too bad. We'll say 40. And let's pull that way back from the right-hand side. So we're going to subtract more. Let's do 150. Getting closer. There you go.
Hey, Tech.
I am multitasking a lot. So I'm AFK on the server, letting it get arrows for us. Mainly so we can fight the dragon at some point. But I'm also in here coding and streaming. Okay, we're getting closer. So maybe 180. Good spot for it. That's not too bad.
I realized the corn still had the dirt sound to it.
What does?
Corn.
Has a dirt sound to it. What? Guess I don't know what you're talking about. I have to look. Like when you're breaking it or stepping on it?
Breaking it. When you're harvesting it.
At 30. 8. That's pretty good. So then would save it. Okay, so let's pick some corn. Farmland, really? Dirt. Hoe. Corn. Oh. Bone meal. And water. Farming's so hard in Minecraft. Jeez, you need so much.
Remember when it was a lot harder?
Okay, I'm gonna mute the music for a minute. Huh. Let's try with seeds for wheat and see what it does.
I don't know if we've just never noticed it or just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a different sound. Wow. I probably just left it to the default I had it set at or something and never changed it. Let's put the sounds by the music back on. So where's corn at? Yep, sound type ground. Plant. Okay, let me restart the modded world here, the dev world here. Let's see if that fixes it. See, things like that I don't pick up on and don't notice, and it's, well, that took me 2 seconds to fix it if this fixes it. And that's why I want to test things as much as we can with a big group of people, because like you notice things I don't notice, and Zach notices things that you don't notice and I don't notice, and things like that, you know. It just overall makes the game better, just having lots of people in there.
Have a chanting table set up somewhere?
One in the ravine. So if you go down the ravine all the way, there's an elevator that says one goes up to the enchanting table and one goes all the way up. Or if you're on the surface and you stop halfway down. When you go down that spiral staircase, the wooden spiral staircase, it stops at the level that the enchanting table's at, and almost right at its door. Okay, let's pause the music
I was
again.
kind of looking for it earlier today and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's got all the books and everything. That sounds better. Still doesn't sound the same as wheat though, which is fine, but
All the crops have a slightly different sound, I want to say.
it at least sounds like a plant now. I think it's the tall grass type sound. So let's get some grass. Don't build that. Yeah, it sounds like that now. So for comparison, yeah, those are pretty close. I'm fine with that sound at least. All right, back to the music then. All right. So, oh no, it's one of those stupid sizing things. Why Minecraft? Okay. The width is not reliable. It was perfect a moment ago.
What?
The width and height, it changes when you resize your window. but the scale of the GUI thing changes differently.
I see what you're saying.
So like when it's real small, it works fine. But when we make it bigger, the button doesn't fit on the screen where I wanted it. Dang it.
Is there like a glue texture that you can just say from here to here, it stays?
No, not with this. So I did it here with this texture X and Y successfully to get the left-hand side of it set. So should do the same here. Space it off the target, I guess. So now when I run this and resize, it's all the way at the top because we're taking too much off or whatever.
Or a bed on the server, Tech?
What on the server?
Near a bed.
No, I'm not. I'm down in the skeleton spawner. Did I not save it? Why did it not update? There we go. So now if I scale it up and down, it works. So we need to add a lot more than that. So that was 35 to there, another 35 should put about here. So let's try another 70, so 105. Should get us in the ballpark, and then we can adjust. Or I'm totally wrong, and I need to go a lot more than that even. 205? That was too much. Let's try 75. It's an okay distance, maybe a little bit lower. 7. And then probably need to add to that. Okay, add too much, the buttons clear off the screen. -10. Apparently the center's way off. Okay. 20. That's good to me. Okay, and then I need to look up the code for the button's action from my other GUI screen here, which is this action performed piece. Okay. Oh, cool, we do have it here. We go to this as well and set up our button. So it's not Cower Crane, it's gonna be laser level save button save. Yeah, terminate, sure. And we're in the GUI laser level. Change that and then uncomment all of this. And in here we actually take our action. So in this case, button has been clicked. GUI dot this dot close. There's an on GUI close. Called when the screen is unloaded. Use disable keyboard inputs. Okay, but if we look at its call hierarchy, we can figure out how to close a window, preferably. It's all similar. Sets the GUI screen as the main. Okay, that's not what we want in this case. Snooper, screen demo, language. Is there a pause one in here?
Got that.
It's probably in here, just not called that. Selection. Oh wait, is that how you do it for real? And we don't need to call GUI close, we just need to call that, I think. In GUI screen is null, then go to the main menu. Well, that's certainly not what we want, but it could work for us. Oh, we don't have that right now. Well, the world won't be null, but GUI screen will. So where else are we getting this? And our health is not going to be 0. It's not null, else it's going to resume sound. Yeah, so it's going to start the game back up. Let's see. Third window. 22. I had to run out and get myself a new office chair this morning. That's why I left. I was miserable yesterday sitting in my chair that much. Hopefully this one allows me to continue to work and not be miserable. Got this weird lumbar support, like when you lean it back, the lumbar support goes away. So like you can relax your back and not have it curved the whole time, but yeah, when you lean forward, it's got a really decent lumbar support. kind of a little bit of both. Let's go here. Well, it certainly closed the window. Let's check one more thing, see if there's anything about spot close. This dot GUI close exit end. Trying to think of any other GUI with a button that would close itself on the button press. I don't think that there is. That's fine though. So we'll leave it like this. We need to save the send packet with file name and params to server from client, telling it to save the blueprint at the chords specified at the core server. So that means we need to create a network packet. Yay. To server. Input message to server. But these two are probably our closest thing is what we're going to go for. So let's copy those. Copy this. And we'll say block blueprint, save to server, and then copy, paste, same thing but handler at the end. Oh, right. Odd message. Odd. Keep the consistent name. Mod message. Block. Blue. Print. Save to server handler. And this needs refactored then because I messed up the name. Same message. Cool. So on this version of it, what do we need to send? We need to send some strings. I don't know that we're sending strings anywhere else, so that'll be cool. We'll have to figure that out. Let me look through this list. Don't think we are. Yeah, we're not. Do we need an entity ID? Store the player in that potentially, I guess. Public string file name. Public string as public int POS1x. We'll do that for all three, X, Y, and Z. And position 2s. All of this doesn't make any sense anymore. And instead, we're going to have a constructor that has these fields. integers. Int pos1 x int pos2 1 y int pos1 z, and then the 2 version of those. All right, take all of that. This dot that. Oops, copy, paste. So all this is doing is caching this information in the class on its constructor, so that when we use it later on to write or to read from, we've got it there. Because on the client, we'll call the constructor like this. On the server, it gets called like this. And on the client, we call 2 bytes, writing that out to the stream. And on the server, it calls the from bytes. So it's receiving that packet in, and it's going to translate it and store this information back in here. So entity ID is already set, but file name, we need to say file name dot read string. Yep, that's what I thought. UTF? No. Is there anything we can do? There's a character sequence. The other thing we can do is pass over the bytes. Turns the number of readable bytes just equal to write length. No. The byte array probably is the best bet. Let's see. So string file name dot to character array. That's easy. So is there a character array? Char. No. We could write it as a series of characters. Build that up, save the length of it, and then decode it on the far side. That's probably all I'll have to do. Great. Awesome. So let's create another method. So public char array that will be called string to char array. It's going to take a string of all things, input, and it's going to return it. So we're going to say input.char to char array return. Okay, and then the reverse of that is char array to string. So public string to char char array to string char array input we say input dot to string. We'll see if that works. Might need to do some testing with this. Return. So it takes a character array and turns it into a string. But we won't have a full character array we can read from the stream, though, will we? Okay, so we're writing out the bytes for file. So we need to say this dot file name equals char array temp chr equals that. But we'll say string to char array. Okay, so that should convert it over. Then we can say temp char length. We'll say buff.write int. So we're going to write out how long our array is. And then for I equals 0, I is less than temp char dot length I plus plus. We will buff dot write char it takes an integer though. We'll try it. Char wait, temp char you don't like it, do you? Oh, that's all good. And then we'll have to write the rest of this stuff out, but we won't worry about that yet. Then when we're reading this, we need to get our length first. So int length equals buff.readInt. And then we need to define a temp char char array temp char equals new char of size length. Okay, and then temp char. So we'll say for int I equals 0, I is less than length, and I plus plus. Then we say temp char each part of the array equals buff dot read character. So that fills out the character array, and then we say file name dot or equals string char string, and we just give it temp char. There we go. I think we encoded and decoded the character one letter at a time to send it across the network.
Hey.
Yeah, it was overcomplicated for just something as simple as sending a string, but I think it's gonna work. We're gonna want to debug this quite extensively to make sure it's right. So we'll say log helper dot log info. We're gonna say from bytes plus file name. And then 2 bytes. We'll do the same thing, but we'll say 2 bytes. And then we'll do the character version of it. Temperature. Because it's very possible that could translate into having some extra characters or something in there that we don't want. Okay, let's see. How many... Wait, what? Did you come in here and change something? In the spawner room?
Maybe. Changed it back.
What? I just changed it! I made it a double chest instead of a single chest.
No, but that gives you an issue with the spawner because it emit light into the other room.
Oh, they pass light? They shouldn't.
They do because they're a water source block.
They're not a water source block.
No.
They're transparent, but they shouldn't be transparent. I just haven't set that. Something for my to-do list.
Well, you got moved. And I was swinging my sword so I could get some experience so I could...
Oh, you're fine.
Enchant it.
Like I said, I'm there just to try and make it spawn these guys to get some arrows going. And the only reason I noticed is I was looking to see if it's killing these guys or not, because I don't know if this version has the entity cramming where only so many can be there in a spot. It does. Does they still drop their drops?
I don't know if it still does or not on entity cramming.
Okay.
I know it was killing them because I went over there and it was automatically killing them. So.
Okay. So reading all these integers in. Okay. And then we're going
Get some diamonds! Yay!
Opposite with writing them. Buff dot write int. Okay, that should be set up completely then. Okay, now we set this piece up. And this is where the server should actually save the block then. Or the file. That's where
What farms out of wheat? Farm.
Got one. Yeah, earlier I harvested all the wheat in the wheat farm and filled it up as much as I could. There might still be some in the combine, I'm not sure. No, it's seeds in the combine, I think, because it was harvesting so much, but we weren't planting them all. I think I took all the actual wheat. Save the file here, please. Okay. Let's just put a debug statement log helper info. We should save here on the server. Okay, and then in our init, we need to register the network packet we just created. And this is similar to message to server handler. So we're going to pick this one, pop it down to the bottom, give it one more ID than what we've got before. So 13, put message, and it should say block server handler, and this will be the same without the word handler on it, and it is side server, message to the server. Okay, why is it airing off still? Okay, that means one of these messages here. Yeah, okay, so this class type needs to be put into the iMessage handler there, along with this and this. And apparently I can't type that semicolon there. So now mod network is happy about that line. So now back on our GUI, in its close, we can say mod network dot send. Gosh, how do we send it to the server? Okay, let's look at this one, and nope, this one, and look at its constructor's call hierarchy, because we're going to call it where we're sending a packet to the server somewhere else. Right there. There we go. Send to server. Send to server. We're not going to send that message though, so we can get rid of all that. New machine mod message block blueprint to server. This variation of it, the entity ID is not really important in this case because it's gonna be our player entity. This .mc.player, that's a single player. The player though. Do we have any reference to the player at all in here? We have an inventory player, which we didn't persist. Entity, no. We'll know the player just by the fact that it's being sent to the server, so we might as well just kill the entity off of it. It's one less integer it has to send, I guess. And then in this class, then we need to no longer check that entity ID. That's what I'm saying. We'll have the player right there. Player dot entity ID. Get entity ID. If we need it. Oh, yeah. We shouldn't need it though. Okay. Why are you airing off in here? Oh. Okay, and back to the laser level, we can get rid of the entity part of it. And our file name is going to be from our text field, which is this file name. Get text, which is a string, which is perfect. And then there's our positions, right? Which we don't have defined in the GUI right now, so we'll just say 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1 for the moment, so we can test. Okay, let's load up our world. Put this in. See if I'm right. Okay, what did we get in thing? Okay, so 2 bytes said my blueprint and 2 bytes said that. String of garbage. Absolute garbage. So my blueprint was the correct one. But then 2 bytes said it again? The incorrect way? From bytes, from bytes. Oh, right. Right. Okay. So... interesting. So the button got clicked. The first one was this. The second one was that piece. And from bytes never got called. Why? The server didn't... Oh, I don't... I didn't restart the game. So it has no notification of that packet being a thing. So we sent it, but it couldn't receive it because it wasn't listening for it. There's 4 in this chest. Let's see when another one drops. Because this thing's still loading. Let's leave it open like that on my screen. No, there's 6 in there now. Perfect. It is working. So those drops are happening when the skeletons die from cramming. So now there's from bytes. It's garbage in both cases though. So it's not working right. Okay. Wait, where's 2 bytes? 2 bytes from bytes. Let's try this. So temp var temp dot this thing has no methods whatsoever. It's probably the object toString. Yeah, that's what's wrong. That explains why it's getting the @ symbol in there too, right? Okay, so it wasn't a special toString that they overrode. Let's do this. Java convert string to char. And back. Java byte buff. Not a byte buffer though, it's a byte buff. So I'm googling some stuff here, see if I can find a better way of doing this. Using a byte array. That's what I was trying to do. In netty 1.4. Right character sequence. Let's try it. This is from bytes, so we want to read bytes. So here, buff dot write character sequence. Dot file name dot character. Ah, there's a character sequence. What's the second parameter for? Character set. I don't know what character set it means. Right. Character sequence. Char set. So this particular one is in netty. And so it's a character set. Oh, somebody's at my door. I'll be right back.
Oh, was it?
Okay, I'm back. Looks like the microphone's working for the stream this time. I came back. Check, 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 check. Okay, I'm back. Yep, cool. So character set, implements, whatever. No idea what would be a valid value for that, so that's why I'm a little puzzled by this one. So Character set. Char set. Dot. Ah, there we go. Ut. No. Dot. It just had a bunch of values. Where did they all go? Did it import the wrong one? Yeah, it did. Yeah, let's have it right. Re-import it. Dot. Oh, there's one for each piece? Why would you not have... So that's A to Z and A to Z uppercase. This is just upper and lower, and then this is just numeric 0 through 9. But I wanted to support all of those. Yeah, let's return the default character set for the virtual machine. Why are you airing off? Import. No, that's not the import we want. It's this one. Oh, it is that. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like that. So I was the wrong character set I was looking at. Now I'm getting more confused. That's NIO. What's the character set used here? It's this character set, which is NIO. Character set char set. It's not fully applicable for in-stream character strat. What? Oh, okay. It was in the... I was looking at that wrong. Okay. So great how we put that to character set done. Netty, this, string. Yeah, that's what I want to have. Character UTF-8. That should support all of the chain data. Where's chain data coming from?
Back in a second, Tech.
Okay. It just automatically convert portal. What? Just... Oh, it does like that. Why don't I have UTF-8 dot UTF underscore 8? Probably because it's an older version of Netty. Alright, so let's comment this out. Let's take this and go down here, up here. This is the from bytes piece. So we're no longer writing out the length or the individual characters. Instead, we're gonna go here and say buff dot what is it? Characters. Read character sequence. And you want the length and the character set. Okay. So we do need length, after all. This says it returned the length, right? Returns the number of bytes. Length. The length to read. The character set should be used. The sequence is what was returned. Okay, let's look at this example then. Read. Okay, I'm getting down in the weeds here pretty deep on this. Let's make sure I don't already have a string somewhere, because this seems ridiculously complicated for what I'm trying to do. Which I would think I would have done already. Those are not strings. Those strings. Probably why I've avoided doing this up to this point. I probably thought ahead and said, oh, it's going to be a string. It's going to be a pain in the butt. Yup. These integers. Bah! I haven't done it yet. Okay. So my hang up is I know that I can get the length when I write it, but that's after I've written it. And I don't know what the length should be. So I can assume it's the length of the string and write that out, but I don't know that's going to be correct. So we'll try. Write int file name, this dot file name dot length, or however we do that, that length like that. Okay, and we're going to use that to read that in up here. So we no longer need this. We'll buff dot read int length equals that. There we go. Length is that. We'll use the default character set, which, wow, that's dangerous. I should not have done that way. We'll say character set ASCII, right? Oh, what the heck? Come on, get rid of the import again. ASCII alpha UTF-8 is definitely what I want to use, but I'm not seeing it. So we'll say ASCII alpha. You no longer like that. It's a different char set. Interesting. Okay, is it a different import? Yeah, it is. That's what it's up. Okay. So char sets dot default char set is supported char set. Available char set. So we could list through them all. I'm just gonna see if I can say for name UTF-8. because I know that's what I want to try and use. It might give me an error. We'll deal with it if it does. We're testing anyway, right? So that's going to read an int. No, we're just doing it twice. Okay. Good there. No longer need to do this junk, right? We're reading the character set from here. This should go here. This temp char stuff no longer needs to be a thing. This is what we need to put here. And then we say toString at the end of this, I think it said toString. Okay, and down here, where we're writing this, we're going to write it based on this character set, like we just set up here. Hopefully both systems will have that character set. That's going to be an issue. And we no longer need this because temp char is not a thing. No longer need all that. And we got an error at the very bottom. So these aren't even called anymore. I can get rid of them. Terminate. Rerun it. Give it a try. See what happens. Single player. Now in this case, if the UTF-8 character set is on the system for this client, it's guaranteed to be on the server as well, because it's the same system. Unsupported character set exception. UTF-8 is not listed, at least not like that. So let's now take this piece here and say charset.available charsets, which is a sorted map. Interesting. And say if we can say debug.log. Let's just pause here. On the 2 bytes. We'll set a breakpoint there. Save. That should trigger the breakpoint. We'll switch perspectives. Excuse me. We should highlight that line. It didn't highlight the line because it's clips sometimes. It's pending on all my watches. Awesome. There we go. There is a ton of them. Big 5. This is sorted, so UTF, which should be down there ways. IBM, ISO, UTF-32 length encoded, UTF-16, UTF-16. That's probably what I did wrong. So 8 should be after that sometime. 16, 32, 32, UTF-8. Wait, the value is underscore, but the key is 8 dash. That's probably what I did wrong. Let's try it again like that. Ta-da. And when the game's still run, pause, so let's run it. Run the server. Let's clear our thing here so we don't see any error messages, old error messages as new ones. Run this. 2 bytes, my blueprint. From bytes, my blueprint. Awesome, worked. So now we can send a string to the server. As long as the character set UTF-8 is installed on both systems, we should be good. Who knows if it will be? That's a black box to me. I don't know what determines if those are installed or not. Alright, let's get out of the debug mode there so we can see our code. Okay, so we've sent it to the server. That means that our machine mod, this piece should have ran. We should save here on the server. Awesome. So it's all working. It sends it, it receives it correctly, and that's what it should do. Something with it then. Cool. What's next? We've got the packet. We actually need to save the file next. Okay, so let's do that. Debating how this thing should work, right? So we want it to save like a 16 by 16 or 32 by 32 or something. We've got the save function set up. The save function, I believe, is in the item. So let's take a look at that. If it's on the item, we're going to get it out of there. Laser. It is. Scan blocks is on this. We're going to move this off. Or move this off to its own thing. This should be through here. And we're going to move it off into my utility classes. Block blueprint helper. Sounds like an excellent place for this thing to exist. That's exactly what we're building. So there. Is it public? What's that?
Working on?
Working what? For some reasons, I don't know why, Eagle, but you're very hard to understand on Discord for some reason. I don't know if it's your mic, if it's like my headset. I don't know. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Susie.
Are you only streaming on YouTube?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Just switching. I don't know. No real reason. I have a bunch of subscribers that were actively
Watching on YouTube.
commenting on the Twitch streams that I do, and there wasn't many people watching it on Twitch, so I was like, why stream on Twitch? I've been having more viewers over here on YouTube.
Gotcha.
More people. Not saying I'm gonna stay here forever, but for now. Okay, so this takes the positions, scans out the file. It writes the delta, so it writes the size of this thing. So we're doing everything appropriately. The only thing we don't have here is the file name piece. So we can add that here. String file name. And that makes this down here probably error off. There we go. Actually, let's just put it right there. Get rid of this. I'll have an extra string. Your block positions 1 and 2. The world. So back in here, let's terminate because it's not going to like it if I don't. We can remove this. And this 0.1 map is how we would do this, but this needs to be put up onto that other class, I think. And then that's how we're going to send to the server what the pieces were. Yeah. Okay, so we'll handle that next, but let's get the machine mod message on the server, this one. You gotta call scan blocks on block blueprint helper dot scan block. Okay, so we're gonna say world, so entity dot world. There we go. Wherever the player was, that's the world we're saving in. And message dot get position 1. So block POS BP1 equals this. New block position message position Y1 message position Z. Okay, and then same thing but for 2. And we could say BP1, BP2, and message dot file name. Oh, semicolon. Okay, make it static. That's what I wanted. That should do it. Like my class names get in hand. No, they're not. These are yeah. Maybe they are. They're very specific, and when I start typing, I'm fine. So let's put a log helper here. Calling save. And log helper here. Save complete. That way if we get any error messages, we'll have it logged out properly. Now remember, this here is getting called by a specific part that's going to have a 111, so it's going to be a length of 1. Oops. Hierarchy for this, please. So when we click the button, it's scanning from 0 to 1. So it's probably going to error off if I'm not near 0, because the chunk won't be loaded. Now let's fix that too. Because this is a client-side thing. And we're passing the server what we need. We no longer need to set it up in the way what we did on the laser item, which was a hash map that's trying to figure out which player's doing it. Because this is client only that we're doing this on. The save button. Yes. That, or we need to retrieve the UUID on the server and not send the positions and have the server pick up the map from the hash map. The hash map will have more memory usage if everybody, like there's 50 people running around with these, that would be 50 times. The hash map could be static still though. let's take the easy route for the moment, I guess. Just probably to make it static. Public static. And we'll just append this name to the beginning of all the fields here. Why are you airing off? Go. So this is setting up new there. That should be fine, right? Because this should only be called during creation on the server. During mod items. Yeah. I mean, the client's gonna call it too, but the client's map doesn't matter because we're only running this code on the... Oh, is remote is false. That should be the server side. Yeah. Wait a minute, we need to run this on the client side now. For saving the blueprint. Crap. We're saving the locations. Or we don't set it in the message. Let's not send it on the message. Let's look it up from the map. So in the machine mod message handler, temp UID is the player's unique UID. So we're gonna need that. And we're gonna need the basically that stuff. That's entity. And nope, that's not the UUID we want. Is it? It is. Wow. Okay. And that is a block position. So this means instead of doing this, we'll just say that. And that, and it should work. Let's try it. See if we can get those block positions sent to the server. We'll add a log helper info BP1 BP2. save those coordinates off to the log. CZ, did you see that? I watched a YouTube video of this guy that reports on SpaceX a lot, and he's saying that they're taking the Starship, and it will. I think they said originally 10 meters across or something, or 9 meters. It's gonna be 18 meters across now in diameter.
Yeah, it's currently 9 meters in diameter, and Elon Musk was saying that the next one he might shoot for 18.
That's ridiculous. Doubling the
it's
size
huge.
of the thing?
It is huge if they do that.
This guy was saying, they'll need 100 Raptor engines or something to get it off the ground. I'm sure he's just guessing, but good grief. Is it gonna melt the launch pad? That much heat?
Yeah, that's what people online were saying, is they don't know if you go that big and you have that much thrust and that much heat, where do you even launch it from?
Right. And this is the thing that they wanted to launch and shoot around the world, right? To give you 90-minute trips to China or whatever. Launch it from the ocean? In a boat with a big hole in the middle of it, right?
That's one of the ideas, is that maybe you can just launch from the ocean.
But the ocean, I get that idea, but the ocean also is not a stable platform to launch from. So, your ship's gonna pitch and roll a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not gonna have you pointing straight up when you do your launch because of that. Even on calm seas, it's not perfectly flat. Anyway, interesting to see what he does.
Yep, it'll be interesting.
Let's can't scan that one to say this one. Click save, and what else does my log do? Okay, this is nothing. There's my block positions I just clicked on. Calling save, and it's going through those blocks. It's finding the sandstone, finding the air, the grass blocks. Only found one grass block in that entire area. Might have a problem with how I'm saving it, but there we go. We saved complete. Let's check these coordinates here versus the coordinates for what I was looking at here. So F3, I'm looking at 1118. 1118. 55 and 680, so that was that one. The other coordinate I did was this one, which was 113. Yep. 56 and 682. Oh, where's 682 at? Back here? Okay, let's try that again. So from there, okay, let's shift right click, that clears the selection. So there to there, save. So Trekker's saying, not to mention the evaporation and fluid dynamics will be further destabilizing a square launch base too. That's true. There's all my grass. I don't know. Maybe I scanned the wrong stuff the first time. We'll definitely want to test it out good, though. Okay, so now, on the server, where did it save it? Or what is the file name? Come on. Pull my window over. If I refresh this, right there's my blueprint. Created today, right now, basically. So let's click one more time right there, and we'll say tech. Really? Hit E and it. Oh, you can't hit E? That's a bug. Okay, so T3. That's TACK. Save. There it is. Open it with Notepad. See our air blocks, our grass blocks, the sandstone, etc. We're good. Okay, so we need to fix that E problem. I don't want it to close the inventory.
What format are you saving that structure in?
My own format. I'm just writing out different
It's
pieces.
binary?
Yeah, it's binary.
Oh, okay. I saw the
That's
nulls
why
and I was
it's-
like, that doesn't look like JSON.
Yeah. Right. It's not JSON. It'd be interesting to do it that way, though. So if we look at the block helper, this is the code that I haven't touched for a while, so that's reading it. Where's scan blocks? So we're taking, yeah, just write int. Where's the DOS opening at? Opening it there. Data output stream. Type. So it's gonna be different than how you'd write and read in Python. Java has these classes that you can use to help yourself out and make it a little easier. But I'm writing a UTF-8 block registry name. Looks like, and I'm still writing the metadata, which is wrong. I don't need to write the metadata anymore. I have another way I can do that. But one thing at a time for now. So let's fix this E closes the GUI thing. It's gonna be in here, right? And I bet it's because we're not checking the letters before calling super. We're always calling super. And super is what's letting us close out the GUI to begin with. So if we find our creative one again. Crafting. That's not it. GUI. I must have closed it. Container creative, there we go. And key typed. Yeah, so it's only calling super if it's not in the search tab part of it, right? So key binding chat, which currently is set to multiplayer stuff. Oh, the T key, so it flips over there.
Oh, Tech, did you see that I got my model to solve?
No. Did you?
I did a test load case. It doesn't mean anything yet, but I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. That's awesome. The so does something like them changing the scale of it have drastic impact on what you're doing with that as far as the fluid dynamics and the pressures and all
Well,
that?
I'm not doing any fluid dynamics.
I thought you were for the pressures though.
I'm applying dynamic pressures. That's a different thing than computational
Oh.
fluid dynamics.
Okay. That's all beyond my knowledge.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think people have seen some pictures of what they believe to be the new canards, which are the fins on the front of the aircraft, and they look drastically different than what I was assuming they were. So we'll see.
Interesting.
I might already be obsolete.
And that would have a big impact, but so if you were to try and figure out the wind load from going re-entry, right? Would the size of the ship impact that when it's a cylinder?
Zach,
The
ELO?
Hey Zach, welcome.
Exactly.
Dynamic pressure is based on the density of the fluid that you're flying through and how fast you're flying through it.
Not the size of the craft going through the fluid.
What that could affect is what their flight profile would look like, which would be like at what altitudes they're flying, how fast. So it could, but not direct. Not directly.
So
Sorry,
doubling
the
this
Amazon guy just came here.
No worries. So doubling the size wouldn't necessarily double the amount of pressure on the side of the craft. And that kind of makes sense to me from the standpoint of it's round, right? It's not going to have a direct impact on it anyway. It's going to flow around it. But like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. That stuff.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll have to do something similar, right? When I disable certain characters from being enabled.
Oh, don't kill me, elevator. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I don't know what the bug is on that.
I don't know how you guys are having that happen. Like, where is it occurring? Where are you? I can see it. This isn't a slime chunk for real?
Might be.
Or there's a slime chunk down here at least.
Yeah, right in front of there is a slime chunk.
That's funny.
Come back here. Don't go that way. There you go. Go that way. It's perfect. I need my sounds on, don't I?
Yep.
Moonwalking zombie. Okay, let's see. Sounds 11%. There you go. So Zach AFK'd for quite a while now. Well, you're going up the side into the block, though. Oh, crap. I can't go back down. Like, it lifted your head into the block because you were off center of it.
Yeah, but I'm still getting damaged all the way up.
Yeah, on our point of view, we're where you are, but the server thinks that we're in the wall like that.
Yeah, if I go up like this, I'm in the block, and it's going to damage me. But if I get over here, I'm no longer in the block. So
yeah,
on your point of view, you're not in the block?
Yeah, for our point of view, we're going up the conveyor, and we have to, like, hold away from the conveyor, like with W or D, depending on the way we're facing, so that we don't take damage going up.
Well, what I'm saying is what I just seen him do to take damage, he wasn't in the conveyor block. He was in the stone beside, like, to the right of the conveyor.
I think what it is we get sucked up the conveyor before we're completely
centered in it.
Yeah, over centered. So we end up going up into the block on our way up.
Gotcha. Oh. The heck, a zombie was just standing there. Do you want another villager zombie, Zach?
No, we'll be alright for right now.
He dead then.
Yeah, he's a cleric anyways. They're pretty useless. I mean, they can have good trades for rotten flesh for emeralds, but
yeah. Let's see how many arrows. Almost 18 stacks is probably enough, isn't it? I don't need to AFK here anymore.
Did you find my AFK fish farm?
No, I figured that's why you were on early this morning, though. You have mending on everything now?
No, but I did get a mending book, which is good.
Cool. Nope, nope, nope. No.
For some reason, it seemed like I didn't get as much, as many items as with the new one. With 1.14.2 or 1.14. I feel like I get more drops from 1.14 compared to.
Maybe they changed the loot tables or something. Or maybe you were just on longer before.
Possibly.
I hope nothing can spawn down in the ravine with this conveyor coming all the way from the bottom of the ravine into the base now.
I made sure nothing can spawn.
Okay. You placed the block, didn't you? And while the lever was already on.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me too. And like the explosive doesn't go off if the lever's on when you place the one that's getting powered. It's when it gets a block update by placing another one beside it.
Oh, yep. That just scared me to death.
I don't know how you didn't die. Must have been just behind the block or something.
I don't know. I'm just counting my graces on that one.
Laser. And let me just, because game mode 3. So I'm not going to pay attention right now very much to the actual multiplayer server. So on our GUI laser level, we need to figure out what the key code is for the E key and then override that. So debug log helper dot info key plus key code. That should do it. Let's see. This one. $18. So if it's not 18, I'll call super. If key code is not equal 18, I call super. Oops. Now I can type E. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Oh. So we need to ignore some keys. And we're getting the key codes right here. So if we put that, what is it? 56. If key code. Let's create a new method here. So we'll say public, whatever. Boolean is valid. Key. Okay. Yep, terminate. Sure, go ahead. And we're going to set of boolean equal to false. Now we don't even need to do that. So we're going to say key code and key code. And we're going to say switch key code. I think it's case, isn't it? Switch case 56. Return true, false. Default return true. There we go. So this is that key. I restart the game. When I got on this morning, that cactus farm had like a stack and change of cactus in it on both of them. So it was working. Unless you guys are just trolling me and putting them in there.
What?
Cactus farm.
Oh, no. What?
Oop, I didn't mean to click Photoshop there on my screen, but I did. Okay, so we can cheat this by doing that. Go. What? 2? We'll allow that one. So 2 through 9 really should be invalid.
What was the villager at for the assembly table, or not the assembly table, the foundry and
Oh, what was that, Reaper? Or Eagle?
where's your villager at?
Oh, he is in the desert, I think, which is to the north. Yes, yes. His house is in that one to the north. So you go through the plains that we're living in here, past the farm, and then there's another desert up there. So that's not quite going to work. These key codes are not taking into account the shift. I'm not sure how it's working with the shift then. Maybe I could use typed char? Huh? Let's print that out then. Typed equals that. And then we get, there we go. So we could use typed. Somehow it crashed. Unknown format conversion exception. Okay. They do, but what I'm trying to do, like, I can let it. I'm trying to get a file name, is what I'm trying to say. And the file name cannot have special characters in it, right? But the input box will let you type those special characters. So this is junk, is valid typed key, and it needs to be a character. Type character. Type character, and then this is that. Guess this makes it easier to read the code. And then we can say if is valid character, type character. Then we'll set the text box to have it. Otherwise it'll ignore it. And then in here we can just say all the characters we don't want. Seven, 8. Fine. 0. We'll allow a hyphen and underscore. Equals we will not. Plus we should not. Let's not allow that. Let's not allow the other slash. Don't want that character. Don't want that character. This works. Said I have to build the array. This works for me. Did I already do the brackets? I did. You do have a point there. See if this works first. So I also can do both. The way this is set up, it's just returning true or false if it's valid. So I could easily just say it's not valid, or it is valid for each one. I don't have it running, so I gotta run it again. Zach, I never found your little hidey hole that you were AFK in.
Yeah.
I looked for it down in your thing. I couldn't find it out here, but you also had that area.
Oh, I didn't make it in there.
Ah, I gotcha.
Yeah, I actually just saw it on your stream. I don't know how long ago that was for you, but
Wait, I'm in the area where it is and I didn't see it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's in a corner.
Is it over here? No.
No, it's not by Fiery's house. It's in my ravine.
Okay. It's not just your ravine, by the way.
Well, I'm the one living in it currently, so...
Yeah. You're the one that actually listens to what I said about we should live in the ravine.
It's by a tree.
Sure it is. Wait a minute. No, that's not it either. What the heck, Zach?
It went right by it again. Oh, that's funny.
There's only like 3 trees here. 4 trees here. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'll find it.
Okay. Alright. Maybe if you were to walk around down there, it'd be a little easier to find.
Hello, Raphael. So let's see if I can type any of these. Nope, can't type those, but I can type these. I can't type those. Maybe.
I'll be back in a bit.
Okay. UVW XYZ. No dot. Tab doesn't do anything. Can do hyphens, which is fine. Underscore should be fine. Oh, pipe. Okay, let's get rid of pipe. Question mark. And semicolon and colons. Whoop. Just put that on my list. I resized my screen and my text went away. No. So question mark. Semicolon, colon, pipe. Oh, okay. Got rid of one of those. Can no longer type it. Tilde should be fine. I don't think the file systems care about tilde. And I know if you did like alt 255 or whatever, you know, you create some crazy character, but I don't know if the text field normally would handle that anyway. So we should be good. So tech stack test 2. Save. And then in the folder, there's TechStack test 2 with our defined format. Cool. One step at a time, one step at a time. Okay, so we've got a GUI. We can save the information, give the file name. We can send the packet to the server to save this. It can do the save. Now we need the tower crane to have a GUI where you can enter the list of files or display the list of files from the server on the client. So we need a packet that's basically going to say, let's see, we need a packet to request it and a packet to receive it, which should be fine. What all are we going to receive, though? Just the file name? Maybe its size? Let's open that GUI up. Oh, the tower crane. So it's got this for the blocks, but this is the list of machines. At least that's what this was supposed to be. So let's do one more thing. Let's take on our message to receive, because I just was realizing, like, if I save a blueprint named my blueprint and Zach saves a blueprint named my blueprint, they will overwrite each other. And we have no way of knowing that each other's blueprints even existed. And it might be valid that Zach wants to overwrite his own blueprint, but I wouldn't want him to overwrite mine. So on this, the player, can we get .get player IP get name plus? We might need to convert that to the UUID, which we already have. Maybe the dimension of the blueprint. Well, so the blueprint can be placed anywhere once it's once you scan it, you can build it anywhere else. It doesn't matter as long as you have the blocks for it. Using a player name would be friendly. Using a UUID would be completely safe. So I probably should do the UUID instead. Because then if they change their name, there's no worries. See what that does. Actually, let's add a dash in there as well. It's going to make displaying it back to the player a little trickier. Not in terms of complexity, but for usability. They're going to see their UUID instead of their player name. I've already got the world, though, of the player that was doing it in. Let's just try this, see if it works. And you're onto something there. That's probably a valid point. I probably can go from UUID back to a player. Don't know what it is off the top of my head, but yeah, you're right. That's a good point. It would have to be done on the server side before it sends it out. We would want to send both names to the client, though, so the client can respond, I want file UUID 345 or whatever, right? Dash my blueprint to be the one that we actually start building. So they can communicate back and forth, like a lookup or hash map. Okay, so let's try this. So right click, oop, wrong one. Right click, tech, their test. Sure, test, save. Now I've got this file, dash test. So apparently that's my UUID for my name of this fake Forge player. So that'll do. my player name right now? So tell 587. Let's quit the title. Restart it. It more than likely will not give me 587 again. I am 471 now, you see in the background. Come on, get started. Yep, gave a different one. Different name. So they wouldn't overwrite each other. Cool. I probably should put an extension on this as well. That way I can look for files with a certain type when I'm trying to scan it. Currently it's not putting it in a config folder or anything that makes any sense. It's just putting it in the root of the wherever the Minecraft happens to be running. We need to get it into a better location. I'll have to figure out how to do that. I know I can just put a path /config/ whatever, right? But I want to be a little bit smarter than that about it. We could even put it in one of the configs of the game itself. Plus dot blueprint dot block blueprint. Super long file names for the win. Special weather statement. Thunderstorm coming towards us. Okay. I wouldn't want it in the world folder now. Because the world folder would be specific for that world only if you were playing single player. And we would want it somewhere like configs instead. So the idea of this isn't that you can just scan something in and build it somewhere else. You have to have the blocks. It's a intended for survival machine, right? So allowing them to die already. Allowing them to build or save something from one world and go into another world is okay. It does imply, though, that all of the mod blocks are there, right? So you have the same mod pack installed on both worlds, or at least the mods for the blocks that you're using, right? So if I had my mod with its, say, steel block here, and place it down and scan that in, I would need the mod that delivers that steel block. And I'm actually using the registry name in my file instead of the IDs, so it should be cross-world compatible from that regard, right? Because machine mod steel block is always machine mod steel block, regardless of what other mods there are. If I were to use the ID, it would not be. I also am fine where if one of our people on our test server were to build up some statue, right? Say like this. In a creative world. Again. Scan it. with, say, doing this. Scan. I need to shift. Shift right click. Scan. Yeah, that's something messed up. So you need to scan this from that corner down to this corner without that block actually being there, right? And then once it's scanned, it would be saved on their local system, shoot me the file, I put it on the server, and then they could have the tower crane place the blocks for it. They would need to supply those items that make those blocks into the tower crane so it can place them. That's the only requirement. So it allows you to creatively build something without creatively building it in survival. Oop. Let's go ahead and make a commit to GitHub where we're at right now. So I've done a lot. Set up. Networking. Blueprint saving. Tweaked. Laser level GUI. And fixed some bug with something that Reaper Eagle had found. What was it?
Found on the phone.
Corn. Right. Sound on corn. And then my changelog needs to reflect the corn thing. Bug fixes. Fixed sound of corn play. Playing the wrong sound.
How do you unload items from the combine?
It should be space, I think. Should pop right out though.
Oops.
And in the next version, when we get onto the server, drive over hopper. I put that back in. It was something I had in the mod in 1.8, but changed over to use capabilities instead of I inventory, and that fixed it. Blah blah blah. So you said if I walk around down here, I'm more likely to notice it.
Yep. Oh, I'd assume so.
And it's by a tree. That tells me it's down low.
I didn't realize that blended in a lot more than
Well, it is kind of dirt colored. Oh, look at all the things I can steal now. Yeah. In a hurry, it blends in pretty well, especially when you're coming from this way. Like,
Yeah.
it's just barely in your peripheral. But it makes sense. Like, if you were coming from here, you can't even see it because of the grass or the leaf block, I guess. Huh. Okay. Let's get out of here. Should I be AFKing over at the Nether Fortress? I think so. Otherwise, if we aren't like constantly waiting for or trying to get skulls, we're never gonna get this thing.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking as well.
Oh, great. Gas shooting at me already. Oh, Pigman, don't shove me off. Jeez. That's the reason for guardrails. Pigman walk into you as you're running down it. Pushing the lava. So, just based on the number of viewers here, I'm assuming there's people that haven't seen the mod before. So, ask away if you have questions.
How do I mod Minecraft?
You learn Java.
What?
Yes.
How do I do it without learning code?
Download.
You'll have to answer that.
Download moreprogramming.com. I don't know.
Download more RAM? I went there yesterday.
Yeah.
My computer doesn't seem to be any different.
It seems slower from all the viruses, right?
Weirdly, yeah.
Someone in the chat said MC Crater. Never use that. Oh. It's pretty bad from anything remotely complex. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, I had a question. Now I can't remember what I was going to ask you. Well, what's the tier 3 items are going to look like?
What's tier 3 gonna look like? So far, there's no tier 3. Trying to make tier 2 even working yet, still, right? May I ask what motivated you to turn the miner into disco lasers? Are you talking about the screenshot for the stream? Because the continuous miner's still here and still has this as its look, right? But there's another machine that's being built that's a laser miner. And it will break blocks. This is a tier 2 machine. So what you don't know, if you haven't watched my streams before, is that we have a whole other dimension, and that continuous miner is intended to be the only tier 1, like tier 1.5, that can mine there. You can't mine there with a pickaxe even.
Probably need to make the continuous miner only mine the top block, then make the...
But you need the ores to make anything else. We need to change it so that it, like, some of the ores has to have something like this. And that this doesn't need those particular ores.
So I'm talking about the continuous miner.
Right. So right now, you're saying it should only mine the top blocks of the bleak dimension?
Yeah.
Right, but then you couldn't get the ores that you need to make any of the other machines. You'd be stuck.
What I'm thinking is we don't have to have the ores for the beginning of it. It's kind of like punching a tree type deal.
But we do need the ores for it, right? So like all the other machines are going to require those ores from that dimension, and that was why you had to have a continuous miner. It's not the most fastest at mining there. That's why, you know, I built things like the laser miner. It's going to be faster.
The truck loader coming.
What about track loader?
Track loader. How's that one coming?
It's there. It breaks stuff in front of it, but I don't have anything for the ripper in the back working yet.
We were talking about having the ripper with the stone in the front end would be able to dig the dirt.
Right. I was thinking that was for the overworld though. Like you could do both. So the front end would do the dirt, the back end could do the stone. And it's at that point like you've been basically through the entire mod almost, so you're okay to be overpowered and just break anything you want in the overworld. Because like the continuous miner can break anything in the overworld too, right? They can even break obsidian, not bedrock, but. So let's see.
The ripper is that's the next tier or the first tier 2 that you're able to get.
Gotcha. And right now there's nothing limiting you from which machine you would build once you get there and use a continuous miner. Because a continuous miner can get any of the ores there, I think, if I remember right. So
at this moment, yes.
Right, and that's why maybe making, I don't know, unobtainium harder and not able to be broken with that particular machine would make sense.
I think if you had it so the ripper could only rip stone, or to do it, because you're only to rip down. That makes sense?
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay. If you put the bulldozer down in a grass area, stone, you have to rip all of that area up first.
Right.
And you're able to rip stone and bleak stone down and mine ores as well. But you have to mine down to the bottom of the world to be able to get those ores sometimes. It's kind of unpractical wise.
Yeah. I'll agree if using that particular machine to do it is, but again, the way we have it set up right now, the continuous miner can go all the way to the bottom. So having this set up the way it is now kind of defeats the making other machines and tiering it out. We need to figure out what those tiers are and what the progression would be through the machines. And also, let's see, I'm not there, dang it. If I was in the other part, I could do it. Get rid of those two. The shredder, for example, like if it has unobtainium in it, then you couldn't get that until you've gone through all of those. Yeah, like building all the machines. And the way the game's set up for tier 1, there's really no order that you need to build them in. It's just there's probably benefits if you do it in a certain order. Like having a tractor is good for getting conveyors going because you can farm faster and get more cows, blah blah blah. Okay, let's go back to working on this. So look and see the tower crane. It's GUI screen. Oh, wait, the message, sorry. That's what I went there. Need to come up with a folder. I don't know if Forge exposes anything to get anything other than the config folder. And there was one configuration handler. This configuration. So it takes a file. File, get absolute path, replace separate your character with that. Okay. Base path. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minecraft home. Okay. Okay, it's not a file name, it's a file. Path's not getting anything that says config in it. That was some loud thunder. Let me look out the window here, guys.
I heard that.
The sky's pretty dark, but that's about it. Well, we know it's going to be config. I can create a directory inside config and then go from there. We know config is going to be the path. So why don't we do this? Over here, we're going to scan the blocks. And at the very top, before we open this stuff, we'll try and see if the file exists and all this junk. And then if it does, or the folder exists. If it does, we're great. If not, then we'll deal with it and create it. Creeper. Oh, man.
Creeper.
Hey, Steel. We need to do it before we're doing that piece, though, so... Path? What is it? File? F dot... But we already got our location. D dot get public check and create config. Check and create blueprint location. Void static. Admit we're not getting a ton of skeletons down here. Yeah. Can we do that? it take? Oh, string is undefined. I thought it was string. It wants a file. Oh, cool. It's considered experimental.
What?
The directory.
Oh.
Class. Okay, so check if directory exists. Files. That would be easy. Files dot exist. And what we just say dot config. Oh, it's a path, okay, so path. Cool. New path. Here comes the rain. Nope, doesn't like that either. Now, all of a sudden, I'm hearing an awful lot of mobs. Yeah, cool. And by the way, the sorting system for mobs is not working. Apparently, they're pushing against each other too much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this needs modified. I just realized if I were to get a skull and I didn't pick it up right away, the conveyor would push it off into the great void below. Oh boy. Yeah, because there's drops down there. Dang it. Okay, that was a waste of time coming over here then. I don't have the material to fix it. I need another conveyor belt that pushes the skeleton somewhere else.
You go stand by the wheat farm to have that grow.
Oh, that's chunk loaded.
Chunk loaded?
Yeah. We used FTV utilities to force it loaded. Ooh. I guess I can just go game mode 3. Go back really quick. Oh, you can't go through portals when you're in creative or spectator?
No.
Oh.
You're flying either.
There, let's sit there. Let's, file. That's what we want. Oh, it's not imported. Okay, let's do this first. Get it imported. Whoa. I did that thing again. No! I can't see anything on my screen at the moment. I did the shortcut and it moved my window to a new window. Crap. There we go. So I opened another desktop by mistake. Okay. Alt Shift O. Okay, so now we can say equals path, new path. There's nothing. What? File F. So it exists and it's a directory. If it's not, okay, so then we can go Techstack. Okay. So the config directory should exist. If it isn't, then we're probably just going to need to error off anyway. The Techstack subdirectory, if it does not exist, else we say F1, don't we? 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, F2 dot create. F2 dot create new file. Make dir. There we go. Creates a directory named if abstract path named by this abstract path name, but there's no what? Creates the directory named by this abstract path. So it'll just force it. Returns true if and only if the directory was created. Otherwise, false otherwise. So we can just create this then. It doesn't matter. We don't need to check if it exists. We can just create it. So we'll just call it create blueprint location and it'll be done. The real question is, will it create 2 subfolders in one pass? I hope that it will. Okay, and we'll just call this right here. So anytime we try and save something, it's going to create the blueprint location. The blueprint location, just to make sure it doesn't exist, we don't have Techstack or anything in there. So now we run the game and try and create this. Will it create the folder? We won't put the file in the folder yet, but that's fine. We'll fix that next. We might also change it to say machine mod instead of Techstack. So that's kind of the name I'm using everywhere for the mod. In code. It's nice and short that way. Okay, sorry, I had to mess with my wife about dinner. See what she wants to do. Okay, we did not get any directories created in config. Did go down and create the file or no? Yeah, it did right there. Okay, so what error messages did we get then? Cool, none. It's probably because that's an invalid path or something. So let's try that. So log helper .info should tell us if it's returned true or false. So. False. Okay. Maybe we have to create them one at a time. Techstack, blueprints, cool. So now we can say that is part of our path for the file name. when it is called here. Ta-da. There it is. So now that we know that, we can call this on the server as well and create some method that will scan that location for any files within it with a dot blueprint, block blueprint extension. So public static boolean should do boolean or list of strings.
Do you have any birchwood yet or not?
Birch. I don't think so.
Hey, I found a swamp.
Get blueprint block. Blueprint file list. Okay. So say return null for now. And
Hey Tech, how much longer are you streaming tonight?
for right now, not much longer. I'm probably gonna create this method and then take a break to get some lunch and stuff, or dinner. I mean.
Yeah, well that was my idea too. I was wondering if when I get back you're gonna stream again till later tonight.
I probably will stream again later tonight, but it might be more than just a dinner break.
Yeah.
But 8,
All
9,
right.
10 o'clock, somewhere around there, I'll stream again.
I gotta run. I will see you guys then.
Okay.
See ya.
So file dot f equals new that location.
Aha. Is that
What's up?
a wood shot?
Oh, nice.
We got endless glowstone.
What did it say it returns? A string array. We can deal with a string array. There's a block blueprint in it.
Swear that horse does not want to stay still.
And then we'll say debug log helper info we'll list out that file listing. That should do it.
Okay, I'm probably going to get off here and AFK or something.
Okay.
Okay, catch you guys later.
Yep.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
There's still plenty of thunder outside. Okay, so it should have listed them out. Oh wait, when I hit scan. False, false, false. Well, I don't know what that's about. And then it returned null. So it didn't find any matches. Let's try it like that. If we need to, we'll adjust, I guess, to scan for just the dot block blueprints. Okay, got a string that time, but I need to guess just do this, and that'll tell us. So we can just look at it in this. Add it to our watch list. Okay, there's 2 items. Both are block blueprints. If we look at that folder, there's 2 items in it. So it is working. Okay, I think there's some other things we need to do to improve this some more. Maybe put this path as part of a variable so we can reference it in one single place and change it in that one single place. But I think for now, this is all I'm going to work on for the moment. I'm getting hungry. I want some food. So I'm going to take a break here from streaming, guys. Probably stream again later on if you're interested. Subscribe, and I will catch you later. Bye.